Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another action movie night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, released in 1987. Superman 4 stars Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Mark Pillow, Jackie Cooper, Marc McClure, Margot Kidder, Jon Cryer, Sam Wanamaker, and Mariel Hemingway. Superman 4 was directed by Sidney J. Furie. Now this one was a script that was based on a story by Christopher Reeve, written by Lawrence Connor and Mark Rosendahl. And this one, in some ways, I really like this film. Now there's some parts of it that are, I look at in sort of a negative. For instance, Jon Cryer as Lenny Luthor is pretty annoying in this film. But not to the point that it makes the film bad to me, in my opinion. Christopher Reeve is back to playing Clark Kent and Superman in a way that really is as good, in my opinion, as the original film and the parts in the second film that were great. There's not really anything in this film. Sidney J. Furie does not direct this film in any way like we got with those goofier elements from parts 2 and 3. Gone are all those comedy aspects, thankfully. Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor in this is, he still played similar to what he was in the original film in Superman 2. And that's fine because, I mean, he's already been established that way. But his idea of creating this nuclear man, played by Mark Pillow, I just do not understand why they went with this nuclear man character, because in 1983, in Action Comics 544, they debuted a power suit for Lex Luthor that made him strong enough to face Superman in an actual physical fight. So instead of having this nuclear man character fighting with Superman in this film, they could have had freaking Gene Hackman creating this suit of armor like he did in the freaking comics like 4 years prior to this, and recreate that, do that, adapt that, you know. But I've always thought about that whenever I watched this film anyway, that, man, I would have loved to have seen Lex just become that character to fight against Superman himself, instead of having a goon or, you know, like he tried to use things against Superman in the previous films. Because this just felt like more of the same, only this time he's using Nuclear Man. Jackie Cooper is back as Perry White, and he is equally as good as he was in any of the previous films. Marc McClure is always great as Jimmy Olsen. Margot Kidder is back as Lois Lane, and she is given a little bit more to do in this one than she was in 3, thankfully. But I do not like the fact that, once again, similar to 3, not as bad as 3, because this film, in my opinion, is a better film than Superman 3. But they introduced Mariel Hemingway's Lacey Warfield, and she is like a new love interest, possibly for Clark / Superman, and it's just, he's got a love interest. It's Lois Lane. You've got Margot Kidder back. Just finish the story. So I didn't like that aspect of it. But Mariel Hemingway does give a great performance in her role, as does Sam Wanamaker as her father, David Warfield. This film seems to get a lot of hate from a lot of people, saying that it is a bad film, that it is the worst of the films. And I don't think so. Now, I will agree with people that Supergirl is a pretty bad film. Superman 3, I will agree with that is a pretty bad film. But Superman 4, I think the only thing that this film has against it is that they went through a smaller studio
with Canon,
and it wasn't as big a budget as it was on the previous films, and I think that hampers some of the action in this film, unfortunately. But that is not a fault of the film. That is the fault of the production company. So I am going to give Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, from 1987. I am going to give this film a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think this film deserves the hate that it gets. I think this film is a much better film than Supergirl and Superman 3. I think it's pretty much a pretty worthy successor to Superman 2. It's not anywhere near Superman. In my opinion, Superman is the greatest superhero movie of all time. But this one is not as bad as people say it is, or think it is. But what do you guys think? Do you disagree with my review? Do you agree with my review? Let me know in those comments down below. But if you like this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos. And while you're by that subscribe button, click that join button to become a Dark Knight fan. All right. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's action movie night. I hope you will join me tomorrow for our first ever Versus Night. Look forward to that. All right. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.